So I wanted to make this video reaching out to those of you who might be experiencing paranormal problems, where either you have a negative entity attached to you personally, or you have a negative entity living in your home. So I wanted to make this video giving you some tips for how you can get rid of them. Number one, I want you to start by making yourselves energetically incompatible with the negative entity. Negative entities hate love. They hate when you give love to yourself. They hate when you give love to others. They can't stand that love energy because it comes from the light, and this negative entity is from the dark. So it's an incompatible energy with a dark entity. So that's where it would actually be to your benefit to focus on ways you can demonstrate self-love. Pamper yourself, treat yourself to a movie, a bubble bath, compliment yourself, etc. Right? So they can't stand self-love. They can't stand love for others. Hug your husband, your wife, your children, your pet. Give them love. Tell them how much you love them. That makes not only you energetically incompatible, but the energy in your house is incompatible with them as well. They can't stand love. So keep that in mind. Love for self, love for others. Also, what are you doing to help humanity? Your life purpose. Open your heart to humanity. I'm going to go do a couple hours of volunteer work at this animal shelter this weekend. That will get them too, because you're spreading goodwill. Yuck, yuck. They hate it. And then also, just basically what you're doing is you're making yourself a higher vibration to where this negative entity is going to have trouble influencing you. Because if you have a negative entity attached to you, it's going to be influencing your thoughts and your emotions. So you want to try to cut that influence. And that's basically what you're doing here, is you're cutting the influence by making yourself energetically compatible with them. And nothing fights the dark like a nice love energy. Optimism manifests, and the Pollyanna attitude is actually really good for you, because a negative entity also can't stand a positive attitude or even gratitude or casting love at the divine. I love God. I love the divine. I love my creator. Yuck, yuck, yuck. They hate that too. Just so you know, it repulses them. It's like, rain, right? So being thankful for the blessings you have in your life, thanking God, casting love at God, praying. They hate it. Can't stand it. Makes you energetically incompatible. Now, what do they love? Oh, they love fear. They just want to feed off your fear. So if this negative entity knows you're afraid of it, it's going to feed off of your fear. So you experiencing that fear emotion is literally like handing them a sandwich. They're going to sit there and be like, thanks. So they're going to feed off your fear. And what they're going to try to do is they're going to try to dominate you. And the way they try to dominate you, if you are afraid of them, is they're going to want you to give all of your personal power away. So when you are afraid of this negative entity and you are experiencing fear, you're giving them all of your personal power. You would do better just giving them the middle finger and saying, F off, get out of here. You're not welcome here, beat it. I'm the boss, not you. Self-assertion, personal power, right? I don't care if you feel beaten down by these paranormal experiences. You need to be like a phoenix rising up from the ashes and say, get out of my house, right? That's basically what you're doing, is you're the boss and you're taking back the power, right? So make sure they don't deplete you of this personal power by intimidating you, okay? Another thing that they really like to feed off of is anger and hate. So if you and your spouse aren't getting along and you're casting like anger and hate at one another, they feed off of that as well. So what kind of energy do you have going on in your home? Are you and your family members getting along? Are you and your roommates getting along? Make sure you don't have this constant negative, angry energy floating around, because that can attract negative entities as well, because they feed off of that and then they're going to try to influence you, right? The, fighting, the anger, the hate, depression, they love all of it, they love all of it, and they're attracted to that. So that's why I want you guys to make sure you're not broadcasting a signal that says, hey, negative entities over here, Come take over me. Come take over my house, right? Yeah. It's like, I'm energetically compatible with you. Come here. You can dominate me because I'm afraid of you. So I'm going to give you all my personal power, right? Maybe I hate myself. My self-esteem is so low that I criticize myself all day and I hate myself. So then the negative entities feed off of that self-hate. See what I mean? So be careful of the signal that you're broadcasting. Just be conscious of that. Like, just because you're angry and hateful doesn't mean you're constantly attracting negative entities to yourself. But if you're super duper open to the other side, you know, you guys have to think about this, especially if you're like intuitive yourself, right? So just be careful with that. You know, align yourself with the light and they will be repulsed by it. It's really up to you and your free will, but that's essentially what I wanted to say in this video is you guys are in the pole position and you have the power. So I don't want you to see yourselves as these weak, helpless victims. I want you to sit there and be like, I have the power, get out. Hey, bottom feeder, beat it. Right? You're the boss. Don't give them your power, okay? Now, another thing that goes along with your personal power is your belief system. What are your beliefs? Right? What do you believe about this negative entity that's come in and kind of like taken over your thoughts, your feelings, your home, freaking you out? What is your belief system? This matters because the dark can see this too. So what do you believe? What do you think they have the power to do? So your beliefs are going to manifest it, and that's why I want you guys to turn it around and say there's a new sheriff in town and it's me. You know, if you feel like you're actually possessed by this negative entity, say you do not have permission to use my body, get out, right? Command it out of you. So that's what I want you guys to do is command it, because you're light and they're dark, and light is more powerful than dark. So you can overcome this merely by commanding them away. It's you and your free will and your personal power and your self-assertion, because you are of the light. You are love and light and truth. You're a spark of the divine. So just remember that. I'm a spark of the divine, so I'm going to cast this negative entity away from me. And I have the power to do that because light is more powerful than dark. Right? So yeah, just remember that. Your belief system matters. I just want you guys to believe that you are powerful, right? Believe that. You are extremely powerful, so use it, okay? So, yeah, it's time to take back the power and show them who's boss, right? Again, you're in the pole position, so just keep this in mind. If you are experiencing paranormal problems, you know, my door is always open. If you need to book a quick session, you know, to talk about it, you know, strategies, what have you, you know, white candles, burning sage, you know, protective crystals, prayers, casting love energy, etc. You know, my door is always open if you would like to talk about this stuff. But yeah, these are just some things for you to keep in mind if you are having any paranormal problems. And in the meantime, take care and be well. Thank you.